Have you ever come across someone who thinks they know everything? Maybe maybe you went to school with them. Maybe you worked with them. Maybe you dated them. Maybe you live with them. Maybe you are one of those people who thinks they know everything. Well, don't worry. I am most assured I do not know everything. As a matter of fact, I know nothing. I'm a self proclaimed expert on the subject of nothing. You see, I'm all too familiar with nothing. I see a stranger, I feel compelled to talk to them, but I freeze and say nothing. I see someone being victimized and feel like I need to do something, but I cower and do nothing. Nothing scares me more than the idea of having nothing, being nothing, and becoming nothing. And yet, my life is far too full of nothing. You see, my parents told me, fear nothing, and it worked. I'm terrified of it. I think a lot of us experience that. The idea of standing for nothing, being remembered for nothing, leaving nothing behind, and yet, somehow, some way, we oftentimes choose nothing over anything at an alarming rate and expense. High price vacations promise for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars that you can lay on the sand for days and do nothing. Billions of dollars spent every year on antidepressants and painkillers so that we can feel nothing. We take to social media. My heart goes out to, my thoughts and prayers are with, but when it comes down to it, what are we actually offering people who are in pain, who are in need? Nothing. We drive on the highway at death-defying speeds, risking our lives and everyone else's. We pay for others to do what we're more than capable of doing ourselves. We shop at one massive store as we watch several smaller stores go out of business. And we do this so we have as much time left in our day to do nothing. People who can't walk fantasize about dancing. People who can't see fantasize about traveling the world, looking at a beautiful painting. People who can't hear fantasize about listening to beautiful music or exchanging in meaningful words. But what do we, those of us who can walk, can see, can hear, what do we fantasize about doing? Nothing. As a matter of fact, it's become a staple of this great American culture to get to a point in our life as early, as young, as wealthy as possible so that we may know the luxury of spending a vast majority of our life with the freedom to do nothing. There was a time when they were burning books to keep people from reading. Now our libraries are empty, our bookstores closing. There was a time where you would wait weeks for a beautiful handwritten letter, but now instead of pen, paper, and emotions, we take to text, tweets, and emojis. There was a time where you would be killed for believing in any God. Now, it would seem the only time people pray are in casinos, prisons, and hospitals, making quick deals when all they really want is another dollar and another day alive to spend it. We live in a time that so many died to give us. We live in a country that every day thousands die in hopes of entering. And in this hard-fought time of liberation, we choose far too often and for far too long, we choose to do nothing. And I watch much like you do. I watch as things go away. I watch as opportunities and options become more and more limited. And I wonder, how much longer can we continue to do nothing before we find ourselves at a point when there's nothing left that we can do? How much longer can we continue to stand for nothing before we're remembered for nothing? But the trick is, nothing can work quite beautifully if you know how to use it. I'm getting a little bit philosophical here, but hear me out. If you claim to be nothing, within that moment, you are actually allowing the opportunity to be anything, because you're not closing yourself off to the beautiful opportunities that still wait before you. You're not deciding who you are, and in that moment, deciding all the things you're not and will never be. If you claim to know nothing, then the book that represents your life still has empty pages to be written by the world's knowledge, wisdom, and your experiences. There are just 32 days in the year that the average person celebrates, anticipates, actively participates in. Just 32. Most of them are printed on the calendar when you buy it. And then you have birthdays, weddings, funerals. But what happens to 333 amazing opportunities? Well, sadly, nothing. I don't claim to know how you spent last night, and I have no idea how you spent the last week. I'm here sharing these words with you in hopes of influencing the way that you spend tomorrow, tomorrows, all of them. Here's a simple piece. Nothing has been standing in your way other than you. You are not the accumulation of your yesterdays. You're the living potential of your tomorrows. You are everything you never said you couldn't be. So when I look out, I don't see a few people, I see thousands, right? Because I see your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, your classmates. I see those people because those are the people that you know that you are in some way impacting, whether you know it or not. So I'm talking to you, and essentially I'm echoing through you to them. And hopefully these words, in the few minutes you've shared with me, hopefully these words will impact the way that you engage with them today, tomorrow, from here on out. Maybe so much so that they ask you, what did it take to cause this dramatic change in who you are? Tell me, what did it take to cause this dramatic impact in the way that you engage with so many people? And when they ask, what did it take? You can honestly answer, nothing. It took nothing. And yet, it means everything. Thank you.